welcome to Kakihoza Live. This is a YouTube channel where you get to connect with your role models, your celebrities, your icons. What is it about their life? Are their lives as glitz, as glam as they make it seem look like? Every single episode premiere, we bring to you your celebrity's lifestyle, drama, and of course what is behind his success story or her success story. We have a special challenge for them. You just have to subscribe, hit the bell button, like, comment, and share. Every after a single episode, we want to know your opinion. Don't forget to go to my social media platforms, Kakihoza, throughout Twitter, Instagram, and definitely Facebook. Leave your comment. Tell me which next celebrity you think I should host and what questions you want to pose to them, and every single detail you want to know about your celebrity. So our guest for today is a young gentleman. He has been seen climbing up the ladders of his career at a very fast rate. He's a senior journalist in one of the top media houses we have in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest for today is none other than Canary Mugume.
Thank you.
Are you excited to be here?
Yeah, I'm excited.
For real?
Yeah.
Okay. So, first of all, if I could tell us, how has been your, coronavirus? How has it treated you?
It's been very challenging. I've had to work almost 24/7 every day, like Monday to Sunday, long hours. I've been forced to work like from very early in the morning to late in the night. Of course, issues with transport, with my colleagues at work, moving at night, and yet you have to look for news. But also the biggest challenge I think for me has been to keep safe. We are journalists, we mix with a lot of people, and therefore you end up trying to observe health guidelines. At the same time you can't, because you have to interview people, you have to make news. So keeping safe has been the biggest challenge, but we are alive and we have not yet died, we have not yet tested positive, so
which is definitely a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, so let's get into it. Tell me about your childhood.
Okay, I was born and raised in Bara. That's where I did my primary, kindergarten, primary, and secondary up to O level. Then I moved to here, Kampala. In my A level, I studied at Luteme International. It's a school off Kajansi, on Entebbe Road. My childhood was really dominated by, class, studying books like any other child. But also I loved football quite a lot. Yeah, I love to play and support football. Then,
do you still have the same passion?
No, I don't know where it died off. I was a huge supporter of Arsenal, but I think after it took long without winning Premier League, I abandoned it. But I also used to play football a lot. I would escape and join teams, in the district and play while up to like my senior 4. But after that, I think I abandoned playing football and supporting it. My childhood was also full of leadership. In my primary, I was appointed the head prefect of my primary school where I was. So, I took on leadership while I was still young. And those are the highlights of my childhood.
Beautiful. So, growing up, right now you are a top journalist in the country. Thank you. You don't know that?
I didn't know.
Okay, fine. So, what did you want to be? Everyone has dreams. Every child has dreams while they're growing up. What was it for you?
Well, I don't know what I told my mom that I wanted to be when I was young, but right from my childhood, in my primary 5, I started reading news on radio. It was a children's program up to like senior 1. Then in my O level, I was an information prefect. So just like that, I think I just picked interest in reading news, and I would listen to news on radio at home in the night, write it down on paper, and read it on the parade school assembly every morning, Monday to Friday. So I think because of sort of that craft and art, I developed the love for news when I was still young.
Was there anyone that had been doing it before you did it?
No. I began it. I started it in school for the first time. I also started the first ever school newspaper at my O level school in Bara Secondary. So I think I picked the love while I was still young, and I would listen to like Ballet Francis or news on Radio West, which is in Bara, or Capital Radio, which was perhaps like the only radio from Kampala that reached in Bara that was sort of nationwide. And I would write down the stories and go and read them to students early in the morning, every morning, Monday to Friday. So for me, it was not just studying, but also disseminating information. I don't know where I picked the interest from. No one in my family or close friends or relatives was into media. I think it was just like natural.
Okay.
Yeah.
So growing up, who was your role model?
I did not have a role model while I was growing up. I can't remember any.
Do you have one now?
I don't have a role model. I just look at people's work and admire it. I look at the work that, for example, Linus Kaikai is a Kenyan journalist, what he does. I look at also the work that Larry Mado does. He's also a Kenyan journalist, former BBC editor now. But also internationally, I look at the work of Farid Zakaria. He's a CNN journalist, anchor and show host. He's been able to embrace like new media. He has a podcast and sort of the things he's been able to do on like journalism and foreign policy for the United States. I admire their work.
Okay, so growing up, we've seen you trying out so many things. First of all, if you could tell people what those things were, the things that you tried out before you got into journalism.
My senior, in my O levels, I used to sing, I used to rap, hip hop artist. One of those school events, maybe it's sports day or it's prom parties for other classes.
You want to give us a sample?
Yeah, maybe later.
No, not later. We're not in scripts, by the way. You tell us later and later never comes.
Okay, let me first tell you about it. So
Okay,
in my O level, I used to rap. I loved hip hop so much, but also because I was surrounded by friends who were musicians. So I also went ahead and recorded three songs with their music videos.
You did?
Yes, I did. I don't know where they are now. I had not been introduced to YouTube then, so I don't think they're anywhere. I can't find their copies. But I abandoned singing after senior 4. You know, my mom told me I was trying to get spoiled, caned me a lot, but also said I was going to get into drugs. Like,
I mean, that's a perception parents have.
yeah, it's a stereotype on musicians. Said I was also I had grown a lot of hair. They said I was going to plait my hair and put dreadlocks, and said you have to abandon everything. That's how I abandoned my music career. Yeah.
So if I could chip in right there, if your child came up and wanted to be a musician, would you let them be?
Yeah, I would nurture them. I mean, look at how much fortune musicians have managed to get for themselves. It's talent, it's never books, it's not books completely. If my child came up and wanted to sing, I would give them all the support they need. Doesn't mean they abandon school. I mean, school is not just about learning, but also growing up in an environment that enables you to learn other things apart from what is taught in class. So school is good because you grow up in a child environment with teachers that give you guidance. But talent is also great. I think I would encourage them. I would give them all the support they need.
Okay. So I want to know what was behind all this push. You try here, it failed, you try here. Were they failing, or you just felt like you could just do something else?
I mean, I got bored. Like for modeling, I think, well, I just wanted to be on the stage. It was a good thing, but I also needed the money. So after the money was not coming through, you do a show and you've been training for 2 weeks. You do a show for a whole night. You're wearing expensive clothes. They just showcase on stage, and you're given 50,000 or 30,000. So I don't think this was meant for me. After all, you know, growing up, I did not have passion for modeling, or I did not want to do it as a career. Neither did I have passion for music to do it as a career. I think these are things that I tried out while I was growing, just being inquisitive and curious. Yes. So I got bored, abandoned careers.
So what was behind this
in their
push?
infantry stages?
Why were you pushing for all those things?
Again, curiosity. Like I just want to try out new things. Like the way I'm in journalism, I just want to try out this, I try out that, I try out that. So it's just being inquisitive and being able to try out new things and see how they turn out.
It wasn't ever about the money?
Well, as I thought there was money, for example, in like modeling. When you're on stage and people are clapping for you for wearing expensive clothes and you're looking great, and I mean all the lights are on you, you're on the spotlight. So I thought there was actually money, but that was not my primary goal. My primary goal was to be on the center stage where everyone is seeing me.
To be the center of attention.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So while trying out these things, did you at any one moment feel like I should just give up, be a normal child, stay at home, wait for my parents to provide, you know?
Well, unfortunately for me, I did not have the luxury of saying, let me stay at home and wait for my parents to provide, because my parents were struggling anyway to provide. I missed out on so many things because my parents couldn't provide. So that was also even like a push factor for me. Like, why don't you go and try this out? If it actually works out and you're able to get money from it, then you'll be able to provide for you and your family and your siblings. So my family not providing was also one of my number one factors on why I pushed so hard to do so many things. And I wish I had the luxury to just stay home, but I didn't. I didn't even think about it.
Okay. So you now started, okay, from a normal child, yeah? Should I call it normal? But now to modeling, and then people started getting to know you. How did it feel like transitioning from just a normal person to sort of a celebrity?
Well, I don't know about the celebrity part of it, but it has so many advantages. First of all, you know, in society where you have peers or friends, and you're sort of on the same level, doing stuff, trying out things, this and that, you sort of earn respect from them because you've tried out something that has worked out, which is a good thing, because then you not only motivate yourself, but you also motivate them to do things, try out this and that. But also the other advantage this has is that you sort of then realize that dreams do not end. Like, you want to work out something, after some time it actually works out, and you feel like, okay, I want more. I thought I had gotten it, but then I want more. So it sort of improves your thought process. Then you start thinking, what bigger dream can I have? Then you get the dream and then achieve it, and then you want to set a bigger dream. And you can't achieve such a thing until you set a goal and then get to achieve it. That's sort of like a mental process that everyone needs to go through. Perhaps being one of the leading multimedia broadcasters in East Africa. Yeah.
That's quite a dream. So you and I know that one of the things that distracts youth right now is relationships, getting into relationships at such a young age. But you seem to have been different from the rest. You got into a relationship at such a young age, and you and your girlfriend have been seen, you know, doing big things, growing together and growing in career-wise and all that. So what was it like for you?
I didn't know it would turn out this way. But also, I am someone who is consistent. I want to do things consistently, so I don't want to do things for short term. I guess that's just me, it's like natural on me. So I started dating her when I was 18. She was 18 too. And things just work out. I don't know, just worked out.
How are you guys able to build each other? You know, people get so distracted and sometimes lose it. You know, instead of building each other, something goes wrong in one or another. How were you guys able to build each other?
I think we coincidentally both have personal qualities that sort of match. Qualities of integrity, qualities of patience, qualities of consistency. Like, it was such like a coincidence that we all have those qualities, and they're like personal, like dear to us in our own hearts, and they sort of matched. So when that comes together, I think what you get is what we have now. Yeah. So, you know, she has a career. She was into TV at WBS when I was walking streets from street 1 to street 2 looking for a job. She quit TV, then I joined TV. But at the end of the day, she wants to go into psychology work or philanthropy, and then I'm back into TV, and all we have to do is just like sort of support all our careers regardless of how different they are. Yeah.
So basing on what you've said, my next question would be, has your relationship affected you negatively or positively? So I think it hasn't had any negative effects. Am I right?
It hasn't had any negative effects. It's always good to have someone who you know that they have your back and is going to support you, not going to judge you. Perhaps some of these things we go through at work, in our other social lives, we fear to tell our parents. They're not of the same age. We fear they would judge us or condemn us for doing things like, even if you're 30 or 25 or 15, you're as a child to them. So if you tell them these things, but it's always good to know that you have that partner. You can tell things, they will not judge you, even if they can't do anything about it. Even if they did, you have a sort of a burden you haven't lifted off your head. Yeah. So it has actually instead built me and who I am. Yeah. Okay.
You guys have been in the public eye. Everyone has known about you. How has that affected you guys as a couple?
I don't know what effect it has had on us. I think it's normal. It's normal because she was in the public eye when she was on TV, and now with the work she's doing, and so am I. I don't see any effect. Yeah.
Okay. Also, how do you deal with things that threaten your relationship?
Like what?
She probably has men that hit on her. You could have girls that hit on you. So how do you deal with that?
As I said, our own personal values. Because if commitment is supposed to be commitment, then there should be no minus or no plus. So commitment for us means commitment, and that's what has helped us. How do we deal with such things? We talk to each other all the time. Yeah, all the time. Talk to each other.
That's nice. So, Canary Mugume, you interviewed the president. I feel like that was a big, huge deal for you. I want to know first, how was behind the scenes? What we didn't see, what was behind the scenes,
Behind the scenes was a lot of intimidation. Just being in State House alone, knowing that the purpose you're there is you. I've been to State House so many times, but I was never the topic. I was never the subject of discussion. But knowing that I'm there and it is me, that alone is intimidation. And there was a lot of training that went on behind the scenes. I went through my questions the way I had arranged them so many times. I had to call people who I think understand the president and interview them for so many hours just to know what sort of questions or what sort of answers rather that would come from the president, so I can have follow-up questions. But also it took me a long time for me to become comfortable and not feel intimidated, knowing that I'm sat with the president. But all that went away after like 15 minutes after he had walked into the room. But before he walked in, and when I saw security take presence and take positions, and knowing that the president is there, my heart started shaking. It was beating so fast. I couldn't breathe. I was in a mask. When the president walked into the room, I was about to say, Mr. President, just hold it right there. Let me just use the washrooms and just be back. Sort of like had butterflies in the stomach. It was very intimidating, but I kept on breathing in and out as he answered my first question. The rest is history.
So what was the experience now after? The interview is out there, everything is out there. It was a big achievement for you.
Yeah.
First of all, at your age, I feel like it was a huge achievement. So what was it after, the experience?
Well, true. It was a big achievement for me, one of my greatest achievements, because I know any journalist would love to interview the president.
Definitely.
Not for many reasons, but also knowing that he's the biggest political head or biggest personality in the country. Any journalist would want that. So it was a huge deal for me. The interviews out there, there's so much feedback on all my socials. Like for 2 days, all discussions on the interview are coming through on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. And most of it was positive, but there was some that was negative, criticism that was also positive and negative at the same time. Just so much to take in. But I figured that, look, there are certain people that I need to look out for. If they said something and it's criticism, then I'll take it in. Some people's criticism perhaps is not meant to build you. Some people's criticism is meant to maybe destroy you. But I don't mind that because I've been through it, like through my past stories I've done, investigations and all. So I figured that I need to look out for some people who I do respect, both in the media space and out of the media space, and I would take their word for their word because they would not have any ill intentions if they said anything. If they said the interview was great, I would know that's, they said that in their own, being honest. If they say this is perhaps what missed, maybe I know next time maybe something like this happens, I need to improve this and that. So there's just so much to take in, but I just needed to filter in all that and know what to take and what not to take.
So you have so much courage. I mean, using your social media, you have the courage to, expose the government, expose any arm of the government in case of any fault. How is that easy for you? People would sort of fear and be like, oh, the government, I think I should not talk about it.
Well, the government and the state at large is not our boss. They are accountable to us because, Esther, for every drink that you buy, for every necklace that you buy, because not everyone has an opportunity to be a journalist. Not everyone has an opportunity to be on TV. Not everyone has an opportunity to call a minister and call him for an interview, or even the president. So after knowing that, and knowing that that is my task too, so my opportunity turned into a task that I have to deliver on a daily basis. I said I'll squeeze all the answers. I'll ask all the hard questions, make sure that this government is accountable to us. That's why it's easy for me. Okay. Yeah.
So do you have any political aspirations?
No, not at all.
You don't?
Not at all. I used to, but I guess I was young, but not at all.
Why the change?
Look, the platform of journalism is even a bigger. I would imagine anyone would want to go to politics because they want to create change, right? For many reasons, at least, that should be one of them. But I realize that the platform I have actually can create the change that I need without necessarily going into politics. Yeah.
Canary, we've always seen you on screen. You seem to have it all together, What is a canary off screen like?
Canary off screen is boring, always home, maybe reading a book, maybe on Netflix. I don't have a social life. I am not into any sport. That's why I spend most of my hours actually working, not because I'm redundant on the other side of my social life, but because maybe I put in too much in my work and hours, so I end up not balancing the other side. Yeah, maybe like once in 2 months. You rarely find me out.
Okay. Anyway, so about a month back, we had a scandal on Twitter concerning journalists and their pay and being an issue. We also had a colleague of yours complaining about how certain journalists are paid 5,000 a story. So, in your own perspective, what do you have to say about that?
Well, it is true that journalists, but like many other professions, are not paid quite handsomely despite the hard work they put in. It is true some journalists are paid per story, and sometimes it's 5K, sometimes it's 10K, as low as that, and they have to struggle every day, come to work and file a story just to earn that little money. I think it's about that time that realize the importance of journalism, its role in society, how much it is able to do, and how much it brings on the table. Otherwise, we should stop calling it the fourth arm of government if it is not respected. If we actually know and understand the role of journalism in society, then we should give it priority in terms of pay and wages. Yes.
Okay. So have you, as a person, incurred some of those problems? Or what are other problems that you think journalists have been facing?
Yeah, I mean, exploitation is one of them. Look, before I came to NBS, I used to write for one of the local dailies here, newspapers. I was also paid per story, and I'm surprised that some up to this day and age, people are paid per story. But I think we need to build capacity for media houses to be able to pay journalists, at least might not be as quite handsome as it should be, but at least something solid. I talked about exploitation in terms of our sources. There's so much blackmail that goes on because you want to file a story, it's going to expose them, and they choose to blackmail you because if this story goes out, it's going to perhaps ruin their reputation if they have any anyway. So there's so much that goes on in the background before a story comes through. And if people just knew how much we keep that never comes out to the public, then perhaps they would respect the role that we play for society. And we don't do these things for us. We do them for society because, as I said earlier, these institutions that are public are accountable to us. Therefore, we go out of our way, we risk our lives. The investigations that we do, we risk our lives, not because we want to, but because we know how much important we are to society.
So what do you think has been the major cause of, low pay among journalists?
Low pay. At the end of the day, even when a media house is broke,
5 years from now?
I don't know.
Are you going to get married? Should we see a baby coming through? A wedding maybe, something?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe all that.
First of all, how old are you now?
I'm 25.
So 30, by 30. What?
By 30, I don't know. Maybe I'll be married, maybe with a kid or not. These decisions are not entirely made by me. Sometimes there are natural forces that determine how things should be done. But sometimes it's what we call consent. I don't manufacture babies at home. Babies are made by two people. It has to be consent. Career-wise, I want to be driving change in East Africa. I don't want to say that my job here in Uganda will be done, but I want to use the same influence I've gained over a period of time to do the same for the entire East African region. I believe there's just that oneness that we all have, and we can take advantage of, share, and drive change for the betterment of all our countries. In Rwanda, in Kenya, brothers and sisters in Tanzania, or even Burundi, there's so much happening that we can always sort of sink our energies with and create the change that we need.
So if you had $1 million US right now, if you were given, let's say I give it to you, what would you use it for?
You give it to me and you see.
No, just imagine. I could.
What would I use it? Okay, I would invest in real estate. I mean, for me, that's something I want to venture into, but at least I've tried to. Real estate and property business is something that doesn't fade away. After all, keeps on appreciating and appreciating, does not depreciate. It's not like buying a car, 100 million, and just next week you can't sell it the same price. It has already depreciated. Buying land today or property, we're building like this, even if it's just 1 year from now, its quality, rather value, will have appreciated, will have gone up. So I think that's what I would invest in.
So at 25, you've done so much. You are noticed countrywide, but yet there are people your age who barely have a penny. What do you think could have gone wrong in their lives that is going right in yours?
There's nothing going wrong in their lives. I wouldn't look at it that way.
Anyway, if I could say, maybe if you could give them like advice to probably guide them,
It is one of the hardest advice anyone can ever give. Find your passion and make your passion work for you. I mean, that's all. I found my passion in journalism, and I made journalism work for me. If it's the money, I'll use journalism to make it. Not extort money from people using journalism, but if perhaps someone else is doing another business that is getting money from it, for me, journalism is my business. Like I said, I'm going to be good at this, and I'll be paid for it. So I think find your passion and make that passion work for you, regardless of what it is. Yeah.
All right. So up next we have a game, a challenge. Yeah. So I'm going to invite my producer. He's going to write something. He's going to write a word. I'm going to hold it, and then you'll have to explain using actions. I don't know what word it is, and yeah, we'll see how well you can mimic these things. So maybe you need to stand up. Does he need to stand up?
No.
He doesn't.
Yeah, you just.
I don't have to. I don't want to see. Okay.
What am I supposed to do now?
Mimic whatever it is, so that I can get it.
Oh, you've not seen it at all?
I haven't.
Okay. No.
A pasta.
No.
No, again, that's it. But like, so many people can speak using microphones. So maybe you have to do something. TV. I present on TV.
No?
And use untold TV.
What is the action called?
Presenting. Reading news. Journalism.
Yes.
Journalism. That's so close. Okay. Is there another one?
You just peep in.
I didn't see it. Eating food.
Mm-mm. The second word alone.
Food. Okay. Swimming pool. You cheated.
I didn't cheat.
You just pointed.
Exactly.
Okay.
I didn't say anything.
Okay. Makeup. Okay.
This is the hardest.
What?
I'm not supposed to say anything.
No. Is that a hand? That's it.
I'm drawing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
The sun. Day. That one. What? I'll never guess.
You'll never guess this one anyway. It has no action.
I'll fail.
Hey!
Coronavirus.
Yeah. No. Not.
Oh,
What? The other word for it?
COVID-19.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I've really enjoyed. I've had a good time.
Me too.
Thank you so much for coming by.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Canary. And thank you, guys. I hope you guys had a good time, just like I did. That was for our first episode. I hope you guys had a good time, just like I did. You guys should have probably learned one or two things from him. I mean, he just shared his life story right there. And also, if you have any comments, you can always leave them right there below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And then also, if you have any new celebrities that you feel we should host, you can always reach me on my social media platforms. Esther Kakihoza, Instagram, Facebook, and definitely Twitter. And then we'll have your celebrities. You can also leave the questions that you think I should probably ask them. So now you know where to go. Kakihoza Live, peace out.